Welcome to our living meeting. This is John here. Nice to see you guys here. So let's get started our meeting. Uh, today today I will talk about a just meeting in HMI. There are four parts in today's topic. The first is what is a just mapping. Second, byte adjust mapping, and the word adjust mapping. The last is different difference between HMI and Webox mapping. The first part, what is adjust mapping in HMI? Adjust mapping is to build a relationship between two different adjusts. So in HMI, mapping is not only support a simple value transfer from one adjust to another adjust, but it can do some intermediate calculation without a one. So that's what is adjust mapping. In in HMI mapping, there are two mapping adjust type, byte and word adjust. So in next part, I will introduce them. We can click mapping on library and enter settings screen. And we can see there are two options of byte and word adjust here. There are many settings we should set. The source we can configure to adjust it as source at most. And the calculation is for selecting operation mode in calculation and during mapping HMI. And during mapping, HMI will do a simple operation and display results in target without a Lua. And the byte adjust has different calculation with word adjust. And the next is laggers. The next is laggers. It's adjust less. We can set less if the mapping range is more than one. And the mode, there are two modes we can select, read and write, and read only. Read and write means the mapping is two-way. Source adjust can map to a target, and the target adjust can map to the source. Read only means the mapping is one way, the direction only from source to target. And I have a project to show these two modes. This is a project I've made before, and we entire mapping setting screen. And here, object A and B, I set calculation as none and the mode as read and write. And the object C and D, I set calculation as not, and the mode as read only. And I compiled the project and into offline mode. And I set the mapping switch here. And we can see read and write. I set source object A. I set object A on. Target B will be on. But I set B off. A will be off too. And in read only, I set source on. B will be off too. Will be off. And I set B on. C will not change. This is that's difference between read and write and read only. Next option is update frequency. Frequency is to determine how fast the mapping result will be displayed in target address. And we note that through means whether the result is read from PLC directly, which is more faster than general speed. And the option of mapping is like if we enable it, it's like a mapping switch. When the switch is on, the mapping will start. And the counter write is for continuous writing, and it's only available for special device. So in generally, we can ignore the configuration. And the global mapping control, glo- global mapping control byte as a byte adjust, and there is four configuration list, and its priority is higher than mapping byte adjust. So after configure it, it must be set on first, and mapping will start. And I will show it in my project too. Now enter settings screen, and here is option of global mapping control. Click it, and I set byte adjust 100 as control byte, and enable it. Compile project again, and enter offline mode. Now I turn the method switch on, and the source and the object on. Now object B will be off. So I must set global mapping switch on. B will change. So this is global mapping function. This gel app will show basic operation steps for creating a mapping in HMI at the source one. And if you need mapping among three addresses, set source one and source two. Then set a calculation, the mode, and the target address. Randomly, don't forget the leave add to save. And the next part is word address mapping. What word address mapping is same with byte address mapping. So I will show it in my project directly. And I set three word address here and enter setting screen. Enable word address. Edit source one as word address 11. And before set source two, we should set a calculation. I set the power on. The power on. I added the source two as drop. Maybe I can set a 10. And the target address I set 13. And after setting, we must click add. And this is I set just now. If I want to change some settings, like I change it to 15, I can click edit and then modify it successfully. So I can do 11. After setting, click compile the project. Let's go to offline mode. Now I set source one as 6 and the source two as 2. And my mode, the mode I set is the power off. So the result, it will show 6 squared. It's 36. Now switch 10 mapping switch and the global mapping switch on. It will get 36. So that is white address, what address stating. and there is a link. You can review the course. This is demo I made before, so you can click the link to log in our wiki to check it and download. The last part is differences between HMI and Webox. Our Webox also supports a mapping function, but there are some differences between them. So let me introduce Webox mapping simply. I made a picture about mapping in Webox, and the picture shows the whole process of mapping. In this picture, I have two Webox, box 1 and box 2, and they communicate to PLC 1 and PLC 2. And I create a byte address X1 to control PLC X1 and create a byte address X2 to control PLC X2. Now I make X1 to X2. So if I set X1 on, X2 will on too. But if I set X2 on, X1 will not on. So mapping is one way in box, and the mapping in Webox is more simple than HMI. And there is a video I made before. We can check the video. We can check the video mapping in Webox. And I have two boxes in my Wnet account. And I set address D0, and another box address is D2. This is mapping function. Click select tag, and we can enable tag in other box. Enable D2 in this PLC. We just do some operation in box. Now I change D0 value as 50, and D2 will turn to 50. But now, if I change D2 value, this value will return to 0. So there are 4 differences between HMI and Webox. The first is mapping address must be in 2 Webox at least, and the Webox can accomplish local address mapping in a Webox. Webox it must be 2 box at least. And then second, mapping in box can support intermediate calculation without lookup. So If we want to do some calculation in mapping in Vbox, we must use Luva. And the second, Vbox can only support one-way control, but HMI can support two-way control. And the last is mapping. The last difference is mapping process. Vbox mapping process is by network, and in HMI, its process is by local and without network. That's all. That's all my meeting today. Do you have any question? How to do HMI mapping? Sir, this is HMI mapping steps. You can check here. Okay. VNet. VNet. You can check this video. Here, click edit, and into edit screen. And the mapping is here. After that, select check and enable it. Enable tag you want to map. Do you have any question? If you don't have any question, I will close today's meeting. Have a good day, everyone. Goodbye.